Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome to another webinar here on Mañana No Mas. And I've been experimenting with how do I record these? How do I distribute these? How do I get the messages out to you? And I'm gonna lie, been a little bit of a struggle. I was using StreamYard, the highest level of StreamYard, to just pitch these messages out to all different kinds of channels. And so it was going to Twitch, Twitch and X and Facebook and LinkedIn and everywhere. And I'm just going to be real honest with you. At $900 a year, I didn't really see that being the best way to spend revenue through Mañana No Mas. Just being blunt, we still make the content, and now we are running the content directly through our website at Mañana No Mas. So we have a webinar engine built into Mañana No Mas now. And so if you're seeing this live, you are seeing it, right through the webinar. In fact, you can go over here or over here. I can't remember what side it's on, but you can put in a question. You can ask us questions live. We can jump in, try to answer your question for you. We want this to be more of an interactive experience, but we also don't want to pay $900 a year to do it. So we decided to try this webinar thing out for a bit. Things change, and we're open to change. We may change this again real soon if we don't see some kind of interactivity, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Looking for some interactivity, making sure that people actually get the messaging. Now, once the webinar is complete, we can take that recording and that can be replayed on YouTube. It can be shared on Facebook. It can be shared on LinkedIn. It can do all those things. But the cool part is when you can come in live, ask questions and get responses and things like that. And so yeah, you do see that we are changing things around a little bit. Now, the subject matter for this week's webinar, and we've been doing this live every Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. Central. We've been doing this since the beginning of the year, and here we are. The year is almost halfway done, so we're doing pretty good on that side. Pardon me. I co-host on a show called The Membership Machine Show, and on the Membership Machine Show, we review products like the top CRMs in the industry, the top LMSs, the top membership tools, the top community tools, and we discuss a lot of that stuff on the Membership Machine Show. And because I get to dip my toes in the water on all these different tools, and we talk about it so frequently, it has occurred to me, especially in an exercise I did this week with Mañana No Mas, and that is I went into our CRM and I did the reporting and the review that I always advise my customers to do. So I did it myself, right? So I should follow my own advice sometimes, right? So I go into the reporting for the CRM tool, and I start noticing some things like, oh, hey, our open rate took a little bit of a dip, but our click-through rate is pretty consistent, and this, that. And so, but as I'm doing this, I'm realizing, okay, I need to make this tweak. I need to make this change. And then I'm thinking back to a couple of conversations I had with clients recently where I'm making this recognition that people say things a lot in business, and they want to talk like they know what they're talking about, and they want to use terms, and then in reality they don't really know what it is or what they should be doing with it or what the core purpose of it is. And so we hear this a lot in business: CRM this, CRM that. And so if you're in sales, maybe you're using Salesforce, maybe you're using Zoho, maybe you're using HubSpot. If you're in marketing, maybe you're using Active Campaign or Infusionsoft or a thing called Keep. Maybe you're using Kit, right? Used to be ConvertKit. Maybe you're using Kit. If you're in the WordPress space, like me, if you're in the WordPress space, like I tend to spend most of my time, I do work on other platforms. Be very clear. I do dabble in other things, but the majority of our work is done in WordPress. And so there is a very, very simple CRM that you can get right through the repository. Just CRM. It's like WordPress repository. It's like WordPress CRM or something like that. But I tend to go with a more premium tool. I do like Groundhog. I do love actually Fluent CRM, and I've been experimenting with MailMint now because that's a product that we use through one of our other partners. And so I need to get a little more up to speed on MailMint because we do some contracted work with a partner. And sometimes we set customers up on MailMint. And so I need to make sure that I'm solid in it so I can explain to customers and clients, hey, this is what you should do. This is how this works. So let's talk about it. First off, what is a CRM? A CRM is an acronym. It's an acronym for customer resource management tool, customer resource management. And so we start thinking, well, what are those resources? So those resources are like name, address, email, phone number. And here's where it gets mucky. Some people could have literally like a phone book and call it a CRM, right? Maybe you just have name and phone number, and that's it. That's all you have. All you collect is name and phone number for your customers, and that's all you have. That's your CRM. That's your CRM. Other people want name, address, phone number, email, date of birth, shirt size, right? Maybe you're one of these organizations like, well, I'm wearing one now, right? The Warrior Dash. The Warrior Dash knows my shirt size. So if I sign up for a Warrior Dash race, I'm going to be able to get the right size shirt when I show up at registration. Spartan races, same thing. What's your shirt size? What's your date of birth? Some companies really like to do that. Here's your gift card for your birthday thing. And so they'll collect the birthday. And so now you see, I'm starting to explain customer resource management tool is a tool where you collect information about your customer and store it in some organized way that you can recall it later so that you can use it for other purposes. So the CRM is I believe, again, this is a curt belief, I believe every business should have a CRM. Just like I said in one of my other shows long ago, I said every business should have an LMS. Every business should have a learning management system. Because even if you aren't, pardon me, it's allergies, I swear it's allergies. Even if you aren't actively selling courses as a business, you're going to hire people. When you hire people, wouldn't it be cool to have a course? Hey, take this course, learn how to do this, and then you'll be fine, right? Take a course, learn how to do this, and then you don't have to spend your time teaching them. You've already taught them. It's in there. And then what you can teach one people, 3 people, 4 people, 10 people. You can, because it's already done. So now you can spend your time mentoring people with fresh information rather than trying to teach them from scratch. Hopefully that makes sense. When I was a corporate trainer, I was really big on blended learning. So with blended learning, I would say we want to teach as much theory as we can online. And then we want to make sure we dedicate the time in person to doing our hands-on activities. And the students really love that. They really love that when they came to class, it was going to be a super short review, maybe half hour, 45 minutes in the classroom, and then boom, to the shop to work on stuff. Get your hands dirty, work on stuff, work with other people. Like that was cool, right? Like students really appreciated that. The old model used to be come to class, spend 80% of the time in the classroom, 20% of the time in the shop doing the fun stuff. And the students just didn't really enjoy it. The students want access to whatever the hands-on stuff is. And so the more we can work on learning from that perspective, the better we're going to get. Now, a side effect of having a learning management system is having a CRM. So I just took you full circle all the way back around. If everyone needs an LMS, everyone needs a CRM. So a CRM is a simple tool to gather and reuse customer information, name, address, phone number, email, whatever else you need. So now you start thinking to yourself, what kind of organization am I? Am I just marketing? Like marketing? Are you just actively trying to sell and promote messaging and things like that? Well, then there's going to be a certain CRM style that's going to fit you better. Are you looking to do newsletters? If you want to do newsletters, some CRMs are better at that because the CRM is also an email agent. So it can send email blasts and things like that to different lists that you have inside your CRM, right? So now you're starting, if you're new to this idea, you're starting to go, oh, okay, I'm starting to pick up on this, starting to see what's happening here. Okay, so now I can send messaging to groups of people inside the CRM. So now am I marketing? Am I doing newsletters? Am I giving out information about courses? So again, I go back to courses. The mainstay of our agency is building online learning for people. So I get down this rabbit trail a lot. If you're a course creator and you've got 10 different courses, chances are your CRM is going to have at least 10 different mailing lists, one list for each course. So every time a student signs up for a course, they're going to get added to the mail list for that course. And then what you're going to do with that CRM is you're going to send periodic messages that are going to say, how are you liking the course so far? Now that you've completed lesson 5, what do you think about this? Hey, you're almost done with this course. People that finished this course also liked this course, and this course. All right. And so you're going to try to increase your sales or your penetration or your interaction with your customers, with your users, by using the CRM tool. So a lot of times I say, we have to focus on the relationship over the transaction. If you've ever done business with Manana No Mas, if you've ever sent us a check, you know that that's the way that I do business. We typically will have discussions, needs assessments, we'll have some type of working relationship. We'll exchange a couple of promises back and forth, a couple of emails, information exchanges, something like that, so that we can propose the right job to fit your unique use case. Okay. That whole thing is all relationship based. Whereas someone that was more transactional in their method of doing business would be like, yeah, send us a check for $5,000 and we'll start the process. You see, there's a difference. There's a difference there, right? Having a really great CRM setup is a way that you can further your relationship with your users and your consumers. And so keeping this relationship going is important. Now, some people worry about spam. I don't want to spam people. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. One of the ways that you know if you're spamming people or not is to look at the open rate. And now I'm going to talk to you about how to use a CRM. So what is a CRM? What can a CRM do? Well, CRM can gather information and help us send messaging out to people. Okay, great. Third thing a CRM can do, in some cases, some of them make landing pages and create new lead magnets for you to increase your lists. Okay, so that's another way that you can do it, right? So that's part of that marketing idea, but not all of them are great at making landing pages and things like that, right? So depending on what you want to use a CRM for would kind of indicate what CRM you're going to use. So it's important to know, hey, what am I really expecting out of a CRM? And once you define what you want out of a CRM, then we start looking at the CRM tools that fit your use case best. And then we install that, implement that, and get you up to speed using that tool. At least that's what we do at our agency. So I've got these different things that I can do. Okay. So let's say that I start sending out these messages. I'm growing a list. I'm growing a general mail list, and then I'm segmenting that list into sections, and I'm sending messages out. What do you want to do after that? Well, you got to do something, right? If you just do it blindly, you're just doing work because someone said to, and that's where a lot of businesses get stuck. A lot of businesses will say, well, I've been making all this Facebook content. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm making all this YouTube content. I'm not getting anything out of it. I've been sending out newsletters and I'm not getting anything out of it. You have to look at the reporting and you have to see kind of what's happening and understand the user experience and what they want. See, in a lot of cases, from a business perspective, we are saying, look at what we can do. Look at what we can do. Look at what we can do. And the customer is looking at your content and they're saying, what can this person do for me? What pain point is this person going to fix for me? And if your messaging isn't coming to the client as a what's in it for you perspective, it's going to get blasted out. It's not going to get looked at. It's going to get bounced, right? So if say you have a high bounce rate in your website, you have a high bounce rate because your messaging isn't meeting the customers where they want to be met. Okay, so a CRM tool is one of those great tools that helps us to do that. One of the things I look at as the owner of Manana No Mas is I'll go into our reporting We use Fluent CRM inside our website because it matches our use case the best. And a couple of things I did this week. One of the things I did was I was looking at previous messages, and we have a couple of really strong weeks, 55% open rate, 57% open rate. Those are really high open rates. So that means like the title of the email was engaging. People wanted to open the email and see what was in it, all those kinds of things. Secret, here comes a secret. I invited people to unsubscribe. I don't want a dirty mail list. I don't want extra people in my mail list getting my emails and getting spammed. I want to communicate with people that want to be communicated to. And so a lot of businesses will have a 10% open rate, like 9%, 10%, 11% open rate. And in the marketing space, a lot of folks will say anything over 10% is a success. That to me is not true. If I start seeing, if I get a customer started and they're getting like a 20% open rate, I'm optimistic, but I want to see it go to 30 pretty quickly. And like I said, right now, Manana No Mas is, we were hovering around 50, 55% for an open rate. And I noticed our open rate had gone down to like 43, 46% in the last few mailings. And so I went back and I looked at those mailings and it was like, okay, what's different about the subject? Or better yet, what's the same? Are people getting tired of the same old message, right? Because sometimes that can happen. And so we started looking at some of the messages. Well, here's what I started to notice. I said, wait a minute. We've got a pretty good list of existing customers here in this overall list. Okay, so we have this overall list. So when was the last time we sent a message that just went to existing clients? And then what would that message be, right? What would that message be? How would we make an impact with people that are already clients of Manana No Mas? Now, you might be watching this webinar and you're thinking, you already have their money. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Folks, it is so much easier to treat people well and maintain a relationship and resell to existing clients than it is to constantly go out and get new clients. Okay. So like if I'm a course creator, for example, I go back to LMS work, right? If I'm a course creator and I have 8 courses done and I've got some students in my website, wouldn't it be easier to put out the 9th course and then email that existing list and say, hey, based on some feedback, we made this additional course. For those of you that have responded saying that you wanted more training in this subject, it is now available. Here's a link to the course directly. And as an existing student, you get 20% off. Here's your 20% off coupon. Like, wouldn't that be an easier sale than trying to sell that new course to complete strangers? It should be. It should be, because you should have a relationship with the people that registered with you before. And that's what the CRM is meant to do. It's meant to keep you in contact, in touch with people. So here's what I did. I made a short email, and just yesterday, because I knew I was going to be doing this webinar. So I made this short email and I sent it out to our existing clients. Folks, the open rate, sending out to just the existing clients, 76.19%. I'm looking at it on the screen right now. 76.19%, and that's in one day. In one day, 76. So 3 out of 4 people opened up that email to see what it was going to be, because we have an existing relationship with those people. And so as long as we can keep driving value through that messaging, they're going to keep opening it, and they're going to keep clicking on the links, and they're going to keep getting exposed to more and more of what we do. You see, Manana No Mas as an agency isn't just Kurt Von Ahnen, right? Manana No Mas as an agency does corporate training, curriculum development, public speaking, motivational speaking, website design, graphic design, I said curriculum development, but we also do a thing called instructional design, which is a little bit different. That works in SCORM content, making like really interactive training materials. And so we can do that. We do some technical writing. We do copywriting. We do Folks, we do business consulting. We go in with different businesses and we say, okay, what do you guys do? You make widgets. How do you make those widgets? Where do you source the raw material? Where do you do this? How many people work here? What are the stations? What are the processes? And we help them generate their processes, put them into a process map. And then we help through that process map generate their policy and procedure manual, which, you know where this is going, leads to training material that goes in a learning management system that comes out with a new website that takes care of all their needs. We also work in different verticals with power sports and marine dealerships. We teach power sports and marine dealerships how to increase their business, again, through more of a process development and communication and leadership kind of thing. So there's a lot going on there. So if someone is an existing client and they come to Manana No Mas for a website, for a startup business, some brochure website startup thing, they're going to get on that segmented list. And then piece by piece, they're going to receive these emails. And they've got a 72%, 76% chance of, well, hold on, what was the number? Because now I don't want to make it 76. So then they have a 76% chance of opening that email and clicking the link that's going to take them to a new service that they weren't aware that Manana No Mas provided. Right? You see the beauty in that, and that's going to help that. Now, if the big list can still stay in the 40 to 55% range for an open rate, and we're continuing to add to that list with relevant people, that's going to help drive our marketing. Now, compare that to Facebook marketing, to LinkedIn marketing, to X marketing, to whatever marketing you want. You want to jump on TikTok and do ads, jump on TikTok and do ads. But you can put something out in social and you really don't know who's clicking, who's opening, who's doing anything with, like TikTok will say, you've had so many impressions. Okay, impressions with who, right? Give me the data, give me the content. They're not going to give you the data because the data is theirs. That's the whole thing with working with big tech. Big tech is saying, hey, we gathered all this free information from the whole world that gave us all their information for free, and we'll sell it back to you a little piece at a time, but we won't give you the real information that you really want. You really want to know, who am I interacting with and how can I meet their needs? But it doesn't happen with pay-per-click advertising until they get through your lead magnet and join your list. And where is your list? Your list is in your CRM. So that kind of takes us full circle all the way back around to, what is a CRM? Why would I need a CRM? What would I do with a CRM? Now, I want to finish this up pretty quickly. What I was talking about with the open rates and the reporting with the CRM. So let's go through this again. I have a tool. I collect my customers' information. I use that information to communicate with them. I look at the reporting to see who's actually looking at the communication, right? I want to make sure I'm meeting the needs of the people I want to reach. Now, once I have some reporting and I can take a look at that information, I can then tweak my messaging or my delivery methods. So maybe you want to send a message every week. Maybe you want to send a message every 2 weeks. Maybe you want to send a message every month. That is up to you to decide. But as you make those decisions, look at the reporting and see, does the open rate go up? Does the open rate go down? I used to send an email every day. Back when COVID first started, I thought, I'm going to send an email every day, an inspirational message to make everybody happy. I'm going to put a positive post up on my website. I'm going to link that post to an email. I'm going to send that email out. I did it every day for like a year. And you know what happened to my open rate? It went down to like 12%. Folks, if my open rate now is in the 50s, that is communicating to me that for my particular audience, for what I specialize in, once a week is probably pretty good for an email message. If it's more than once a week, I run the risk of ticking people off by me always being in their inbox and them just bypassing my email. You have to think of the user experience. You have to think of your messaging as like, what would people think if they received this? And then build the messaging out that way. Now, there's going to be other people that tell me I'm wrong. One of which would be Grant Cardone. I always go back to Grant Cardone when it comes to CRM stuff, because I'm really big on, If you don't want to get the emails, please unsubscribe. If you don't want to be on the list, please don't be on the list. I'm going to send these messages out. They're meant to provide value. They're meant to pay it forward. And if for some reason, you want to hire us to do it for you, we are here to do it for you. I would love the opportunity to serve you, but I don't want to force myself down your throat. Grant Cardone does not operate that way. If you get on Grant Cardone's list, you ain't going to get off of Grant Cardone's list. He's got multiple lists, multiple people with multiple lists. And I bought his book on the 10X thing. And after I bought that book, I couldn't get off the list. And it was high pressure all the time. Hey, you want to jump on a call? You want to jump on a call? You want to jump on a call? You want to come see our talk? You want to come to this thing? We're going to be at a Spectrum. We're going to be here. We're going to be there. We're going to do the other thing. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. There's a webinar. You're going to miss out. You want to be on the team? You want to be on the team. Don't miss out being on the team. Fear of missing out, bro. You got to get on. Non-stop spam came from Grant Cardone's people. Now, Grant's going to tell you it's a numbers game. He's going to say the more you spit at people, the higher the probability is that you're going to net more people and you're going to make more money. That might be true. I don't know if it's true or not. I really, it must be working for him, and he's a billionaire. So something's working for him. That's not working for Kurt. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have an adversarial, twisted your arm, forced you to be my customer relationship with people. I want an easy relationship. I want people to want to use me. I want people to see the value and joyfully pay for the services that we provide and not second guess it along the way. So our messaging is a little less forceful. We invite you to unsubscribe if it's not relevant. If you haven't enjoyed this webinar, sign out of it. No one's holding your feet to the fire. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. But that's where I come from with this. Genuine, as transparent as possible, right? Like, what do you want to know? What do you want to see? I tell people all the time, this is exactly how I build these websites. Like, if you want to build it on your own, build it on your own. I know you're coming to me because you want someone to do it, and I'm the expert. So let me be the expert and put this together for you. Like, it is the way that it is. When it comes to these CRMs and these tools, you want to know your use case going in. So ask yourself, am I going to want to generate lead magnets with this thing and grow a mail list? Use this as the tool to grow the mail list. Or do I have an existing list? Do I have an existing vibe with customers? And I'm not really going to do lead magnets, but I want to manage my clients, my users, and stay in touch with them and send them updates and broadcasts and like newsletters kinds of things. Because those are two different things that we just talked about. And then there's the other kind of CRM tool, which is like a sales tool. Like Groundhog, I think, is more of a sales tool than Fluent CRM is, to be honest with you. So when I talk to people, if they want a CRM in the back of their website, in the back of their WordPress website, a lot of times I refer people to Fluent CRM. But if they're a sales company and they're going to have sales funnels and lead values and they want to store more detailed company information and things like that, Groundhog is actually really, really great for that. So again, knowing how you want to use a tool before you make the investment or before you try to onboard or learn for these things, project your use case. What am I really going to want from a CRM? How am I really going to use this CRM? Am I really going to use it? Like, everyone has these great ideas. Every time we make a website for someone, they say, oh, I want to make sure I can make the updates myself. I say, okay, great. We build the website. A year later, I signed into the website to do some maintenance and everything's the same. Nothing's changed. Like, I thought you wanted to make changes to this. Oh, we never got around to it. So when you ask for things, when you say, oh, I know I'm going to do this, I know I'm going to do that, make sure you're really going to do that, right? Like, if you pick that as a pathway, pick it, make it your own. So, you want a CRM, because now I've made it pretty clear. Everyone's got to have a CRM. So, you want a CRM. How do you want to use that CRM? Will you hold yourself accountable to use it? And then will you be willing to look at the reporting, the results of that CRM, and make changes as required? Tweak your messaging, tweak your application, tweak your distribution, and then monitor the effects of those changes and keep going. It's one of those things that requires management. Now, news flash, and I don't think this is going to be a shock to anybody, and I'll wrap up with this. Let's say, I definitely need a CRM, but I don't want to manage it. I don't want to do it. I'd rather just pay someone to do it. we can help you with that. Mañana no más. We can jump in, provide services on a monthly subscribe basis to help you manage your CRM and help advise you along the way. We are not like some of these other providers that are going to say, we guarantee you so many leads. If you put in $500 this way, you're going to make 15,000 that way. Like, we don't do that. It's very simple. It's your product. It's your messaging. We're simply managing the tool for you. We help you look at your results, and then we give you some consulting on how to improve things and make things better. But it's a very organic process, and it is not, I just hate to say it the way I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it this way. We're not going to lie to you and fill you full of dreams that aren't going to come true. Your product, your messaging, your tools, we help you through the process. We advise you, we consult you, and then we take a look at the results and we keep tweaking and moving to get things going forward, right? That's the best we can do. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this webinar. If you did, I'm going to ask you for a favor. Go to YouTube, look up Mañana no más on YouTube, subscribe. I think we're just over 100 subscribers now. We've been doing this for years. So why? Because I never ask. I never ask for any favors back. I just give out the information and I never ask. So today I'm asking. If you've liked what you've heard today, boom, subscribe, Mañana no más. Give us a like or a follow on Facebook or LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, it's Kurt Von Ahnen. On Facebook, it's Mañana no más. In fact, in LinkedIn, it's Mañana no más too. There's a page for Mañana no más, but pages in LinkedIn don't do as well as they do in Facebook. We're everywhere. So if you give us a like, a follow, share somewhere, that would be fantastic. I'd really appreciate it. Folks, we're going to wrap that up. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.